everybody, Luke Kamal here with Southeast Aerospace. This is a Hawker 800 XP. We're just completing our amendment of our Universal Insight EFIS STC with a whole host of other avionics upgrades that we offer for the aircraft. So come on aboard and let's take a look. Welcome to the cockpit of the 800 XP. Up here you can see that the instrument panel is totally different than the standard Honeywell 800 XP. So we've modernized this cockpit with the new Universal Insight EFIS and new WAS FMSs and a whole bunch of other new features. So starting on the left and right sides, we've replaced the old Honeywell ED800 displays with the Insight PFDs, which includes synthetic vision. You can see it kind of bouncing around right now. We're in a hangar, so the GPS thinks we're all over the place. But it presents everything that you need on a modern PFD. In the center, we have a single multifunction display that does a whole host of new features comparatively to the old EFIS. These engine instruments were kind of all over the place in the old Hawkers, so we gave it this kind of standardized layout similar to the King Airs. So I think that's a much nicer presentation of the engine instruments than how it used to be in these aircraft. So down here is touchscreen controllers, which control a cursor for the MFD on both sides. They double as the single point of data entry for the EFIS PFDs. There's a redundancy with some panels up here that we just put in that allow you to do altitude select, heading select, and airspeed select. But also down here we have keyboards. So on the backbone we have universal WAS FMSs, the UNS-1FWs. So if you're familiar with how the UNS-1FW or LW works, that's identical to the older Collins Hawkers and a lot of other business jets. So you can toggle between the FMS displays and the Insight EFIS displays just by a single button press. We also included an option to enable CPDLC and FANS 1A support. So that system is an option on the STC or the upgrade on your aircraft, and it's fully integrated. So it is controlled by the FMSs right here, and all display and enunciations happen on the PFDs. All these enunciators, so you see we're doing a test. So we remove about 36% of all the enunciators in the 800 XP. So there's a whole bank of enunciators down here, and same thing on the co-pilot side. Those are largely eliminated, and we decluttered many up here and over here, and we eliminated about 38 of those enunciators. So they're just fully removed. So enunciators that are redundantly displayed on the PFDs we didn't need anymore, and then there's enunciators associated with systems that aren't in the aircraft anymore. So that cuts down on complexity of the installation and the maintenance in the future for the aircraft. Up here we did make a few changes. We removed the emergency battery number 3. So that's a whole big battery in the tail of the aircraft that's removed, and all of its associated system wiring, because for emergency power we didn't need all that supply anymore. So largely that's due to the new standby instrument. We did the MD302 made by Mid-Continent Instruments. So it's got its own battery supply, but it's also on the emergency bus as well. So it sits up here, replacing the old mechanicals or the old Megget standby attitude indicator that you may have had in the aircraft. For maintenance in the future on the autopilot, we have built-in diagnostics to Insight. So that's still handled by these buttons that used to be right here. So you toggle between these and you can work through the SPZ 8000 autopilot maintenance diagnostics. Speaking of autopilot, we have full integration with the SPZ 8000 autopilot. We do flight director, WAS LPV integrated to the autopilot, so coupled down to those minimums. All the enunciations for the autopilot are presented on the PFD upper side. You have all the modes up here that are still functional, save one, which we could talk about in another video. You still can select between both autopilot computers. You can select between which side is providing the control for the autopilot, just like you did before. So all that functionality is still present and simplified in this installation. Stay tuned for more videos where we talk about some deep dives into some other systems and how they work in this new upgrade.